Hey guys, so we are live. So I just want to say, side note, I miss the countdown timer on Facebook. Like, I don't know why Facebook took it away. The 3, 2, 1, so you know exactly when it went live. So I miss the countdown. Facebook, bring it back. Like, why you all do these things sometimes? It's a useful feature. It's so simple. 3, 2, 1. Instead, they give us a whole bunch of weird filters, I think they have now. I'm not sure how to get it. I haven't used it yet. Oh, right. Yeah, they have all these filters, but simple things like 3, 2, 1. Keep it functional, right? Functional is the most important thing at the end of the day. Hey April, thank you for joining in. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but that's okay because we have to wait a couple seconds for people to join. Alright, I see another person join now. Please like and share. That's the only rules we have for free content. Like and share. And comment. Let us know that you're there. Say hi. Tell us where you're from. And like and share and comment, right? So, I'm going to share this into my group. It's called CDB's Branding by Design. So if you want to check it out and you want to join, feel free to do that. Like and share, people. And let us know you're there. I need to get rid of this because I'm not seeing the comments. Yes, you now have to smile for like 20 seconds guessing. I'm averaging the countdown to be the same, so in my mind I'm counting down about 3, 2, 1, but usually I can't tell when it's live. It's just it does not have that official 3, 2, 1 countdown. It just seems to start. Let me get this post. Alright, so I had that shared. So please like and share this video. Thank you, April. Yeah, I noticed it was matching, but as a brand designer, I need to stick with branding, so I don't want the hearts unless it's black or white or gold. So I took that off. Alright, so today I'm talking about website design. Now, if you're watching, do not X out, do not run away. Do not run away. It's nothing to be scared of. It's not it, okay? It is something that is going to propel your business further. It's going to allow you to reach more people, and especially if you have a business where you are not confined to your local area and that you can service people outside of your local area, you need to have a website more than just a Facebook page. A Facebook page is good to have if you really are just serving your local area, but if you want to have a business that is global, that is regional, that is out of your local area, you need to have a website, because first off, a website gains credibility, right? People will judge you if you don't have a website. They will start to think, is this a real business? Well, none of this is a real business, but are you reputable? Are you credible? Are you in your business for the long run? Are you just trying a thing and see where it goes? And because some people want to give their money to people who they know are going to be around so that they can get support from you in the long term, right? They don't want to just start with you and then 6 months, a year, or even 2 years, you just close up shop and they can't rely on you for support. Now, granted, they can go elsewhere, but according to what your service is, they really want to, they have no problem paying the money to have a long-term relationship with somebody. Those people who really spend their money are interested in finding a supplier that they can work with in the long term. Okay, if you're just joining and you're just watching, please say hi, let us know you're there, let us know where you're from, share the live, comment, give likes, give hearts. I need you all to be like interactive and interact. That's super important. I want you all to engage, ask questions, give your opinions. Like, I really want it to be engaging, and I want to hear from you all. It's not just about me talking. All right, so website design. Now, I wanted to touch a little bit on horror stories because I hear them all the time, and it really takes me back a bit, because it's like, oh my gosh, people do this, and it's like I'm hearing it over and over and over again. These horror stories, you know, you don't hear that as much with just not plain, but just graphic designers. You tend to hear this a lot with web designers, and I'm really not sure why. I was talking to April about it. She's also a web designer out in Jacksonville, Florida, and you know, we were in the middle of a thread, a conversation where somebody was sharing their horror story, and it really all boiled down to web designers aren't explaining things. They just take your money, they seem to go into a dark room somewhere, and they just leave you out of the loop, and then you don't know what's going on, what's happening. They give you the website and it's like, here, bye, have a great time. And you know, after investigating a little bit and speaking to a particular person one-on-one, I realized, well, wait, they didn't explain things to you properly. Like, there's no way you can do X, Y, and Z that way. And this is why I don't really recommend people who aren't tech savvy to do their websites themselves, or even if you pay somebody to do it, to keep the maintenance up, unless you're using Squarespace. I know April is biased when it comes to that. I know there are many people who are strong WordPress people, and they say it's easy, but there are a lot of people who are tech challenged and they can't handle WordPress, and I think that Squarespace is a much easier platform. And while I am team Squarespace, I acknowledge the capabilities and flexibility of WordPress, and I think it's the flexibility of WordPress, because you have to do so many things manually and you have to install everything, is where it can get confusing for the average person. All right, so if you know from the get-go that you want a website and you know you cannot afford in the long term to hire a web developer, and the thing is, the key to a good website is that it should be constantly updated. It's live. It's not something that you just put up and then you walk away. Just like how you walk into a physical store, you know, and every day you're going to sweep it out, you're going to change the signage, you're going to talk about what promotion you have today. On your website, it should be the same thing. You have a promotion running today, you should have a new graphic up. When you go on Amazon, you always see new banners sliding across. You can feel that it is live, and all of that activity is going to boost your SEO and bring more traffic to your site, and it's going to make you rank higher on Google, right? All of these things need to be constantly, you need to constantly feel activity on your website. People should come on your website and feel like this is not dead, it's not stagnant, because even that is going to turn them off. They're going to be like, well, who are these people? Where are they? Are they even still existing? If they feel like it hasn't been updated in 6 months, worse yet, a year, right? And 6 months is still even being generous. It should be for the, I think, not ideally, it should always be fresh, but after 3 months, you should be looking to do something or put something to let people know that, hey, we're here, we're active. Right? It's the same thing with social media. If people come and see you haven't posted in a month, they'd start to wonder, well, what's really happening here? You know, so that is one of the things. So anyway, back to the story of horror stories. So let me pull up this story really quickly. not seeing it, but I can't remember it for the most part, but I need to take a sip. I'm going to touch on the Boss Lady mugs in a bit. I just don't want to forget my train of thought. Yes, exactly, Ajay. The page doesn't look appealing, right? It's not appealing, it's not inviting, and it's also about credibility. It's really credibility is all it is, because at the end of the day, you want your website to convert. Convert means either get on a list or they buy. People aren't going to hand over their money if they feel like they don't trust you. People buy from who they like, know, and trust, right? If they don't know you, they can't like you, and they certainly can't trust you. Now, not everybody we buy from, we know them, but for the very least, from interacting on your social media pages, interacting on your website, they should at least be able to trust you, right? That is the core thing. Even if they don't know you and they don't like you, they should at least trust you. That's one out of these three things, right? Because you're not going to buy from somebody that you're feeling skeptical about, like, right? So yeah, basically designers don't keep you in the loop. They don't take the time. Cavell, you know I'm really feeling these eyebrows, and I have to shout out Brow Boss for the awesome job of the wax and tinting. Girl, you have no idea. You have no idea. But let's keep it professional and stick on topic, right? So hi Jason, I see you have arrived. Thanks for joining. It's around so people to buy from strangers and who said yes, exactly. Right, so back to knowing, liking, and trusting, right? Gosh, I lost my train of thought. Give me 1 minute. Right, designers don't keep you in the loop, and that's very important, because if you're not going to keep a designer, regardless of what platform you choose, if you are not going to keep a designer on retainer every month, or at least hire them every year when you need them to make updates, and you really have intentions to try to do it yourself, there must be an offboarding. One, when you're done with the website, there must be an offboarding. Another rule of thumb across the board, you try your best to keep your clients in the loop. I know how it is. Sometimes you just get so caught up and swamped in the day-to-day running of the business, the day-to-day client work. Sometimes you're just swamped. But I can tell that there are those who ask questions, and instead of taking the time out to, let's do a little video. I mean, there's so much technology. You know, you can do a screen record and show the client what it is you're trying to explain to them. That is a way better, more efficient way to communicate than sending an email. When it comes to tech stuff, the best way is to show. Point, click here, click there, do this, do that. There is no way you can miscommunicate anything if you're just going too fast. Right? Just take your time, do a screencast, and it's only gonna take 60 seconds if you're just showing them one thing. If you're just clarifying one thing, like, it's not hard to do a screencast, and I think that's actually much easier than having this constant back and forth, whether it's via text or via email, and the client just feeling like shut out, and then they get frustrated, and then they think, oh my God, web design is such hell, when it isn't. And again, back to what I was saying, there's so much technology that we are underutilizing. Like, it's not that hard, just use it, you know. My next point, what I think is happening in the disconnect between web design designers or design companies and clients, is that they're undercharging. A lot of people are undercharging to be competitive, and I am a strong advocate that you should be pricing based on value. If you feel you want to compete based on price, there must be a bare minimum. You have to have a balance between budget and value. When you, right, from the time you slip into undercharging, especially for a service, you are going to get burnt out, and that is what happens most of the time. You just, the term isn't coming to me right now, but you're basically pipering your services, for those who are familiar with Trinidad slang, right? Just so many people, you go in the classifieds and you see them charging is ridiculous. It's like you try to wonder, how is it possible for you to be running a sustainable business and giving yourself enough time to even do the person's site? Because if you're charging X dollars, that means you're trying to do this in a day, and realistically it's not going to take a day. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I have so much work because I was so cheap. And then your service is not where it should be. You're not delivering the way you should be, and then you start to resent the work. Fact is, the reason why your designer is not getting back to you fast enough is because they feel like you're bothering them, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is not paying me enough. But at the end of the day, that's the price you gave people, right? And you can't be upset. So that's the next thing. Now, if they choose to charge you that, you are going to take the price for what it is. But know that you pay for what you get, one. And two, sometimes people just don't know. So these are tips that you can take if you're looking for a web design company. Really try to look around and see, am I going to get value for money? Are they going to give me the time that I need? Am I going to get the service that I need? Am I going to be able to call them and they are going to have time to explain things to me, or do a screen record and email it to me? Like, look at these different things. Ask them what you are going to get. Ask them how many pages. Ask them, does it come with graphics? Because people just expect all the bells and whistles, and it's not really realistic. All right, so don't just judge web design based on the face value of like, what's it cost? And they don't ask anything else. So it's like, don't you want to know how long it's going to take, what features it comes with, how many pages, what's the process, do you help me with content, are you going to give me a content planner to help me to do the content? Because that's another misconception. People think that they don't have to do the content, or that the content is provided. No, content usually isn't provided with web design. If you want content, some web companies provide that as an additional service. So ask all of these questions. Web design is not scary. There's nothing to be scared of. The problem is there's too many misconceptions, and nobody is trying to enlighten the public, and that's why I'm here, and I'm happy to share information. Thanks, April. Yes, like a boss. Only bosses I associate myself with. So now I can go on to the Boss Lady mugs. Now, the Boss Lady mug was originally designed for, trying to create merchandise for other female entrepreneurs by myself. And then it eventually evolved into a podcast where women tell their stories. It's about female empowerment, etc., etc. Right? It's about single mothers. It's about female entrepreneurs who are hustling and going hard and taking care of their business, basically. And so far, the response has been warm and receptive. I don't really plan on doing another batch, only if I really get an overwhelming response for it. So this is your last chance to really get the Boss Lady mug. There's technically there's only one remaining. I do have more available, but I'm really keeping those as Christmas gifts for clients and colleagues who were very fundamental to the business this year. So only one mug remaining. So who wants to grab it? Head on over to the shop. I'll post the link. I also have a freebie for you guys. I will post the link to that at the end of the live. It's a website checklist, right? So if you have a website, it's going to benefit you. And if you are thinking of web design, it gives you the steps of what you need to put into place and what you can expect in a web design process. So even if you are you already hired somebody and you haven't started yet, at least you know what to expect, and now you can possibly avoid the frustration that comes along with working with, well, the perceived frustration. And well, sometimes it is a frustration because it happens, and that's why people have horror stories that comes along with working with a web designer who doesn't have proper processes locked down for their web design business, right? So let me know if you guys have any questions regarding web design. There's one other thing I want to say about web design. Now, an effective website has a strategy behind it. There's a hidden strategy that the average eye doesn't see. So even though you think, oh, I can do this myself, or you see somebody's site and that they did themselves, and it's like, oh, it's so pretty. Like, a good website is not just about pretty. Yes, I'm a brand strategist, I'm a brand designer, and I'm a graphic designer who makes the world prettier one day at a time, but you know, it has to go hand in hand with strategy. It has to go hand in hand with functionality, and yeah, it's not just about the prettiness. I mean, great visuals are very important, don't get me wrong. Great visuals are important to grab people. But when it comes to a website, you want them to convert. You don't want them to just look around, you know, think, oh wow, this is so beautiful. Ooh, click, and they're going on to something else that's beautiful, right? You want them to stay there, you want them to get intrigued, you want them to pull them in and have them go through a certain funnel that you intentionally created, like it's no accident. What should they expect from a design in terms of design strategy and discovery? I think what you should expect is to figure out what are your goals. What are your goals for your website? That's the first step. Just like in a business, in your business in general, what are your goals in everything that you plan to do? What do you want to get out of this? What do you want your website to do? It is not just a pretty place to show up and say, oh, I have a website. No, that's not what it is. It's not an online brochure. Plenty of people who are charging very, very cheap for web design, right? You know, and most times the cheap sites are just like a 4-pager, 5-pager, or 6-pager. You're not going to get much strategy from those because you're going to need way more pages in order to lead people through a conversion process, right? If you just need that to get started, that's fine, but know that you're going to have to come back and add more to this site to make it a strategic site. But by all means, get a 4-page site. Even you can get a 1-page site just to get started and just to start building your online presence, or at least grabbing emails or a freebie. A 1-page website is also considered like a landing page. All right, so essentially, like plenty times you ask people, what do you want from your website, and they don't know. Well, you need to know, because the designer was not going to know for you. Yes, we do websites, but this is your business, and nobody knows your business like you, and we need you to give us direction as to this is what I want from the site. And then now we guide you as to how to get that and achieve that. So this phone is going to cut off in a bit. I charged it as much as I could before 9 o'clock. So I will try to answer any other questions really quickly. If you loved this video, please share. And if you're catching the replay, like I said, like, share, comment, give hearts, give likes, share. And if you have any questions and you're catching the replay and it's not live, feel free to still leave a question. It will still get answered. What is a good number of pages? It really depends on your industry. All right, it really depends on your industry. I mean, I know you are a videographer, and honestly, videographers and photographers don't need too many pages because their sites are more portfolio based than anything. But I would say a good number of pages on average is 6 to 12. 6 minimum. But honestly, you're still limited by 6. So I would say on average, get a package that at least gives you maximum 12. Not really. It's more like an intro to strategy. As mentioned earlier, it's still good to start somewhere because you know your budget is probably limited. So even if you start at 6, know that okay, I can come back a month later and do things in phases. That's another misconception. You don't have to do everything in 1 month, or you don't have to do everything in one. Like if you hired a designer to get your website live, you don't have to get everything done for when it goes live. A website is a constant work in progress, so it's never done. It's more about what do you want ready by a particular date, and then you have another date. Okay, what do I want ready by that next date? It's always evolving and growing. It's not something that's done. That's another misconception. People think that websites are done, which is why again it's a good advantage as a solopreneur and a new business owner to be able to make edits to your site. You may not be able to do the strategy part of it, but at least when it comes to edits and keeping it live and active, you should be able to make edits on your own. Let me see how much charge I have again. Okay. Yeah, so thank you for joining. I hope you all learned something from it and took something away from it. And I'm going to post the link to the website checklist as soon as I come off the live, and you all can grab that checklist, and maybe next week we can go through it together and I can expand on each point, because I know some of it might be jargon for some people who really are new to this thing might be like, what does this mean? Like simple terms that we think everybody knows what SEO means, but some people still ask, what does SEO mean? So get the checklist, and probably next week or on another live, maybe not necessarily TeaTime Tuesday, but I can go through the checklist and you all can ask questions. Alright, so it was great. I really enjoyed it. I missed you all last week Tuesday, so it feels really good to be on. And have a good night, everyone. Bye.